Good morning, everyone. Welcome to KXAN News Today. Here are your Friday morning headlines. Early voting for the November election ends later on tonight. After that, next Tuesday is your next chance to vote for the November 7th election. That's also Election Day. Going into this morning, more than 8,000 people have voted. Remember, you can always check out our full voter guide before you head to the polls on KXAN.com.
Austin ISD says it is rolling out a new enrollment system ahead of next school year. It's to make registration easier for families. The system is called Enroll Austin and starts November 8th. Combines online registration, online student transfer requests, common applications, and pre-K applications into one platform. For the current school year, the district says keep using the online registration you currently have for the online transfer requests and pre-K application as normal.
Worst Fest kicking off tonight. The 10-day festivals in New Braunfels celebrates German heritage. The grounds at Landit Park will be open tonight from 4 to 11. Tickets $18 to $25 Monday through Thursday. Next week is free. Lots of things going on this weekend.
I could smash one of those sausages.
You've been there, right?
I go every year.
You do?
It
Okay.
is so fun. And I'm not a beer drinker at all. It's just the food that gets me out
Oh,
there.
for sure. So yummy.
It was tasty. Behind you, Chris, we have a live look from our Austonian camera. And we're starting to see a little bit of a warm-up after a couple very chilly starts.
Yeah, unfortunately, this is going to be a quick warm-up here. So let me get you to it. Live look outside. Iwo Kubota weather camera. I'm going to start with you up in Georgetown. Our temperatures this morning, chilly, but not nearly as cold as where we've been. 40 San Saba, Mason, Fredericksburg, 50 in Austin. You're finding 50s out across the eastern counties. To put this into perspective, look at the difference between right now and 24 hours ago. We're 20 degrees warmer out in Lockhart, Bastrop, Giddings, and even close to in LaGrange. More than 10 degrees warmer here in Austin. You'll feel that at about 5 to 10 degrees warmer in the hill country. Bus stop forecast, parents getting the kids ready for school. I would suggest at least a light jacket to start, but probably can do with that this afternoon. 75 degrees around pickup time. It is going to be a nice Friday afternoon. Our temperatures, yes, they're climbing, and they're climbing quickly, wasting no time getting into the 80s over the weekend. We'll plan out your weekend weather forecast for you, and we'll talk a little bit more about our next rain chance. We got an opportunity for some showers in this 7-day. I'll tell you when coming up the next time I see you.
Thank you, Kristen. Sentencing begins this morning for a Caldwell County man found guilty of manslaughter.
2 years ago, Adil Dahugi pulled into Terry Turner's driveway. Dahugi's family says he got lost driving home from a weekend in San Antonio. The defense claimed Turner thought that he had a gun, so he shot and killed Dahugi. Turner's trial started on Tuesday. He was on trial for murder, but instead the jury convicted him on a lesser charge. Now to another trial. Testimony continues this morning in the murder trial of Caitlin Armstrong. Armstrong is accused of killing pro cyclist Mo Wilson in East Austin last year. Cameras are not allowed in the courtroom, but we do have a team inside listening in, so we can give you some takeaways from day 2. Prosecutors brought in Wilson's bike into the courtroom, and both sides asked investigators how the DNA testing was done, how it was processed. The bike is key, according to prosecutors, because they say it has Armstrong's DNA. Our Brianna Hollis is in the courtroom documenting every moment of the trial, and we have it for you on our website, KXAN.com.
Tough lesson at Hayes ISD schools as mold has been found at more than a dozen classrooms, and now at least one school is closed for the week. KXAN's Nabil Ramana shows us inside one of those classrooms and explains what the district is doing about it.
These industrial dryers right here really do the trick.
Fans line the hallway at Hemp Hill Elementary School in Hayes County.
We're coming up on the classroom that had the concern, this room 184 right here. They have it sealed off with the plastic.
School shutting down until at least November 9th after mold was found in 13 classrooms.
That's one of the rooms affected along this hallway.
A teacher in one room smelled mold, and that prompted the district to check things out. Tim Savoy says once they confirmed it, they took immediate action.
What they've been doing in there is they've been covering everything up in preparation, I think, to really go into those walls and get the mold out.
No kids were at school this week, and after they found the mold, they decided to cancel school until they get it all taken care of. The mold found inside the walls, Aspergillus penicillium, which can affect people with weakened immune systems or cause allergies, according to the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention.
Any type of mold can cause allergies. It can be bad for someone with a compromised immune system, so you don't want it in your building.
Now the district is working to get the mold out and the kids and teachers back in the classrooms.
We're fortunate that this type of mold that's here, according to the CDC, is not the most serious kind, because you can get into some molds that are really serious.
That was Nabil Ramadna for us. Students will have access to grab-and-go meal services on weekdays. It's similar to what the district does when schools were closed during the pandemic. As for the makeup days, the district says it has enough instructional minutes to accommodate for 2 full days of missed teaching without needing to make up those days. The district can also apply for a waiver so it doesn't have to make up those days. Going in depth here, the Center for Disease Control says one key sign to watch out for with mold in your home is a moldy or a musty smell. Mold can look like spots and it can be in a lot of different colors. The good news is you can clean most mold with household products. To prevent mold growth, keep humidity levels as low as you can. An air conditioner or dehumidifier will also help.
A cryptocurrency leader could face up to 110 years in prison for what prosecutors are calling one of the biggest financial frauds in American history. A federal jury found FTX founder Sam Bankman-Fried guilty of wire fraud, securities fraud, and money laundering. He's accused of mismanaging customer funds stored at his crypto exchange FTX. FTX was once the world's second largest crypto exchange until it collapsed into bankruptcy a year ago. Assistant U.S. Attorney Danielle Sassoon says Bankman turned his customers' accounts into his personal piggy bank. Up to $14 billion disappeared. In a statement, defense attorney Mark Cohen says that, quote, the suspect maintains his innocence and will continue to vigorously fight the charges against him. But prosecutors have a warning for anyone who tries to do the same thing.
To every single fraudster out there who thinks that they're untouchable, or that their crimes are too complex for us to catch, or that they're too powerful for us to prosecute, or that they could try to talk their way out of it when they get caught. Those folks should think again and cut it out. And if they don't, I promise we'll have enough handcuffs for all of them.
Sentencing is scheduled for March 28th. A case of road rage led to a man being charged with murder.
Daylight saving time is this weekend, and we're talking with experts about what you need to make sure you do besides just changing your clocks. Good morning, live look outside. This is up in Georgetown, Williamson County. Good morning to you on this Friday. Happy to have you around as we kick off KXAN News today. Austin police have arrested and charged a man for a road rage murder.
They say 28-year-old Justin Justice killed Teresa Ferguson on September 30th. He was arrested on Tuesday, booked into the Travis County Jail for first-degree murder with a $250,000 bond. Police say the 46-year-old Ferguson was taking her usual route home that day when she was involved in some kind of minor crash with Justice on I-35 right between Runberg and Anderson Lane, the exits there. And according to APD, she was on the phone with a friend and told them that she had to pull over because they were going to exchange information with each other, which is when police believe Justice shot and killed her.
Still ahead, the vote that Austin City Council made on parking spaces that they say could make your rent more affordable.
With the nice weather ahead, spending the weekend outdoors may be the thing for you. The offers you can take advantage of at dozens of state parks.
Good morning, a live look over downtown Austin from our Austonian camera. You see the UT Tower off there in the background, lit up. A big game tomorrow. Got your forecast, what you can expect in just a bit. First, though, Austin leaders voted to get rid of a minimum parking space requirement from the city's land development code. So this applies to all new developments, including both residential and commercial ones. The vote also called for promoting shared and off-site parking options with adjacent properties. They're hoping this will create walkable, mixed-use developments with less need for parking. Austin's Housing and Planning Department says removing the parking minimums will help lower the cost of building housing and therefore could lower your rent price.
This weekend, remember, daylight saving time ends, and so that means that you're going to turn your clocks back an hour. It's also a reminder to change the batteries in your smoke alarms. The National Fire Protection Agency recommends that you change your smoke alarm batteries at least once a year near the end of daylight saving. If you're hearing it chirp, that means you got to replace it right away. Some smoke alarms have a 10-year warranty, by the way, for the batteries, and that warranty does require the replacement of the whole unit every 10 years. No matter what smoke alarm you have, you should always check if everything is working properly. We are seeing video for the first time, a baby emperor penguin hatching at SeaWorld in San Diego, California. The video from SeaWorld shows the moment workers help the baby penguin crack through the shell in an incubator. The baby was born September 12th.
This is stunning video. The hatchling was the first of its species to be born at SeaWorld since 2010, the aquarium saying that, and the footage also shows those employees you saw removing it from the egg and then also feeding it for the first time.
Look how cute that is.
So
It's
cute.
Yeah,
this
tiny.
is what I needed on a Friday.
Yes.
He looks like a doll.
I've never seen, I don't think, a baby penguin like that before, other than in Happy Feet, maybe.
Yeah, I was about to say, they made a movie out of this. He's got real good dance moves, right?
That's right.
So cute. Let me show you what's going on outside. We've got quiet conditions across the entire Lone Star State. Temperatures this morning running warmer than where we've been, but still light coat needed. We're sitting at 50 degrees in downtown Austin. We've got most of us in the 40s and 50s. Winds at the moment calm. Those winds today will be coming out of the southeast at about 5 to 15 miles per hour. That's why we're seeing these temperatures really just take off. It's going to be warmer than yesterday and actually a normal November day. 76 is average for us. We're going 75 today with a mix of sun and clouds up top. Here's a look at those afternoon highs across Central Texas. Give you a second to find your neighborhood number. As you can see, the majority of us expected to be between about 70 to 76 today. Now, what do we've got for the weekend? Well, as far as the numbers go, those are going to continue to climb for the next several days. So we'll add about 4 to 5 degrees to the afternoon highs tomorrow, another 3 to 4 degrees on Sunday. That leaves us at 79 for tomorrow afternoon. Some fog will be possible in the morning, but I'm not super worried about it. I think if we do get some of those low clouds in, they're going to mix out pretty quickly to a partly sunny to even mostly sunny sky in the afternoon. We'll repeat that again on Sunday with temperatures warmer in the 80s. Here's something you'll probably notice a little bit more in the days to come, the humidity. Notice the humidity climbing here Sunday, Monday, Tuesday. That's courtesy of these southeasterly winds. That will prime us for potentially some rain coming in next week. Now, there's still some discrepancy between our computers as far as when the timing of our next cold front comes in. You can see in general favoring some lighter rainfall amounts traced to about a quarter of an inch, but we've got time. This thing doesn't come in until next Thursday, so that's a good 5-6 days away of just mostly to partly sunny skies. Like I said, the temperature warm up is the big story. 75 today, 79 tomorrow, 81 Sunday. We continue with those 80s heading into next week. Tuesday, Wednesday, those upper 80s coming within 2 degrees of record highs. So unseasonably warm there. Cold front likely to come in sometime on Thursday, and you can see temperatures dropping a good 10 degrees behind it. We'll go with a 30% chance of rain for now on Thursday, but be sure to stay with us for updates as we get closer.
Thank you, Kristen. Another flashpoint in the long conflict between Israelis and Palestinians, the West Bank, where Palestinians and Jews live in constant tension now. Recently, it is deadly violence by Israeli settlers.
And now some troubling scenes involving the Israeli military's alleged treatment of Palestinians have emerged. NBC's Richard Engel has the story.
With tensions already high across the Middle East, now there's this. These Palestinian men were apprehended by Israeli soldiers. Palestinians are comparing this video to the abuse and humiliation carried out by U.S. troops at Iraq's Abu Ghraib prison. 2 human rights groups tell us they are still investigating the circumstances. While it's unclear exactly where or when the incident took place and the circumstances surrounding it, Israel is not denying it. In a statement, the Israel Defense Forces tells NBC News the conduct seen in the footage is deplorable and does not comply with the Army's orders. We are familiar with the incident and it is being reviewed by the commanders. Disciplinary actions will be applied accordingly. It was not an isolated incident. This photo on Israeli social media shows 3 men stripped, bound, and confined in an animal pen. One of them is Mohammed Matar.
So you can still see where the wires were.
Today, he told me he was beaten by Jewish settlers and Israeli troops for over 8 hours, several days after the Hamas massacre. He says he was urinated on, rolled in manure, kicked, and hit with rifles. The Israeli military tonight told us a commander involved was removed from his post and an investigation has been opened.
Do you think they're doing this more now, emboldened, taking more aggressive action after October 7th?
Yeah.
Before, it was only physical assault. After, they started shooting and attacking, he said. Matar is a humanitarian worker for the Palestinian Authority, the moderate Palestinian government in the West Bank that Israel hopes will replace Hamas in Gaza. On October 7th, Hamas murdered 1,400 Israelis, including entire families, and took more than 240 hostages, including children. Since then, Jewish settlers living on Palestinian land on the West Bank have dramatically increased attacks on Palestinians.
We're seeing an uprise in both settler and military violence towards Palestinians in the West Bank. And I think that in a way, the settlers mainly are exploiting the fact that all eyes are on Gaza in order to, complete their task and take over more and more Palestinian land.
Eliana and Khalil Basir were collecting olives in the West Bank. He's 77. She's 69. They're Christians. The couple says Jewish settlers last week attacked them without provocation. Khalil told me one of the settlers grabbed him in the groin, squeezed, and said, "I'm going to crush them." He was then hit repeatedly with a heavy stick, leaving bruises all over his body. Eliana tried to intervene. I said, "We're old. Why are you hitting us?" Then she says she was hit. Her arm is broken in 2 places from a single blow. Khalil never called the police. They don't do anything, he says. They don't even answer.
That was Richard Engel reporting for us. Ford has now called back 95% of its labor force following the strike and the layoffs. Even as workers return to the plants, Ford estimates that it's going to take weeks to get the production back up. This as United Auto Worker members begin to vote on ratifying tentative agreements with the big 3 automakers. The UAW says all 3 offers from Ford, GM, and Stellantis include 25% wage increases through April 2028. Also cost of living allowances and better retirement benefits.
There are ripple effects after an increase in sales for weight loss drugs. The maker of Ozempic reported this week sales are up 58% so far in 2023.
This morning on Today, NBC News' Vicki Wen is tracking down the surprising impact on those soaring sales. That includes the CEO of Walmart, who says customers who get those weight loss drugs at their pharmacies are actually buying a bit less food at the stores. Coming up next, understanding the possible impacts to travel, shopping, and more.
After you watch that reporter before it, go online because as we go in depth, some drug companies like Ozempic are now testing versions for kids as a way to treat childhood obesity. So online right now, you'll find my report after I talk with an Austin-based psychologist. Her name is Dr. Allison Chase, and she cautions healthy weight loss is a physical and mental health approach because weight loss in kids is extremely complex. It's not always a quick fix. And she suggests parents be a role model for their kids with a healthy outlook on the physical and the mental part of losing weight.
This is KXAN Sports, brought to you by Thomas J. Henry.
Good morning to Texas Rangers with that World Series trophy, and today they will celebrate in Arlington, arriving back home yesterday, and today the parade this afternoon. School out in the Arlington ISD as they get set for quite a celebration, the franchise's first ever World Series championship. Saturday afternoon, Malik Murphy back at it. Longhorns and K-State, second start as a Longhorn. So, well, you get a much different feel. You got a full body of work. You got a full game. You got a full week to prepare like a starter under your belt. So now, Sark hoping this time around maybe some of the anxiety is gone.
I don't want to say he's quite 100% comfortable yet. It's anything. He's going into start number 2. But I think there's a little reduced anxiety in that he knows what to expect day in and day out. I think he has an understanding of kind of how game day goes as the starter and that feeling of taking the field. And so some of those things that may cloud your focus from day to day, I think he understands what that is, and that allows him to live in the moment, right? We have a saying around here, today is the most important day. And when you can really focus on what we're doing today, that's going to help you prepare for Saturday.
It is the final Friday night of the regular season in high school football. Last night, Westlake wins over Butte Johnson. They complete their 4th consecutive perfect season. A lot of playoff spots, a lot of playoff positioning on the line. So join us tonight for game night at about 10:15. Back to you.
Thank you, Roger. For those listening on the KXAN Today podcast, good morning. Thanks for joining us. Here's what else we're tracking at 5 on KXAN Today. Del Valley ISD breaking ground on a new high school this morning. The hopes of the superintendent for the school.